Get ready to dive into a world where empires stand on the brink of war and terrible monsters tear at the fragile borderlands of men. The Adventurer-Conqueror King System Imperial Imprint, or as we like to call it, Acts 2, is now live on Kickstarter. Acts 2 is the new edition of the acclaimed best-selling fantasy role-playing game. You'll find everything you need to enjoy epic fantasy campaigns with a sweeping scope. Whether you want to crawl through dungeons, experiment with alchemy, crossbreed monsters, run a merchant emporium, raise an undead legion, or even conquer an empire, Acts 2 supports your playstyle. Acts 2 integrates experience point mechanics, making campaign activities a seamless part of the core gameplay loop. Your character levels up in new and exciting ways each time you play, adding massive replayability to each of your adventures. Acts 2 offers 18 character classes, 378 spells, new combat mechanics, and so much more. Support Acts 2 on Kickstarter today.
What would you like to do? It's the question that every DM asks every player at least once in their career. That question has led to more stories than any other question on the planet. But how do you turn that question into an amazing story? That's a question we answer on our show, How to Be a Better DM. For those crazy individuals who want to pretend like they can control the story, How to Be a Better DM is the perfect place to learn how to dungeon master without spending extra money or extra time. You'll get tips and techniques to avoid the significant pitfalls of dungeon masters everywhere. We have episodes coming out every Thursday morning, and we can't wait for you to roll initiative with us. Go to betterdungeonmaster.com/knockedprone for more information.
Knocked Prone is a clean, chaotic, and deep podcast for D&D nerds. Find more ways to support our show in the episode description.
Last time on Knocked Prone.
He will cast a plane shift and take the entire party with him to the graveyard plane that Thorn resides.
Are one of us gonna die tonight?
It's going to be me.
Someone's gonna write up a new character.
Move out of my way or be mowed down.
Kill me, but you're not touching her.
Have fun, you two.
You will both take 35 points of radiant damage.
Yeah, I'm down.
Zag will survey the battlefield and see what he's subjected his friends and his family to. I don't have time to explain, but I have to leave. You won't have much time, but while I'm gone, you can kill Thorn. And when you do, capture his essence. Tell Grom I'll be back as he casts a banishment on himself. And Zag will disappear.
The physical form of Thorn will dissipate and be replaced with a shadow demon.
Whether you're a halfling, a giant, or somewhere in between, round the table with your friends, playing Dungeons and Dragons. And if life ever knocks you down, your dice will surely turn around. Roll your stats, it's time to quest. Let's put your characters to the test.
Alright, so we left you guys in some dire straits last session. Efimia and Grom, you are both unconscious. Speaking of which, Efimia, roll me a death save.
15.
A 15, that is a success. The blood in your body starts pumping a little bit again, but you are still unconscious, and you are less so bleeding out. And with that, Grom, roll me a death save. Loved starting the episode off with this energy.
13.
A 13, still a success. All right, so we're back at the top of the order. Selene, you are standing amongst this graveyard. Two of your teammates are currently unconscious, and Zag is gone to where you don't know. Thorn has disintegrated from his physical form and is just this shadow demon of a being standing in front of you, baring his teeth at you, and he charges at you, but you're going to get the jump on things before he attacks you. Tell me what you are doing with your turn, Selene.
So, in my mind, when another character goes down and they're rolling death saves, from a character perspective, like, they very well could be dead. But I feel like, logistics wise, they're technically considered more like unconscious or knocked out. I'm just curious, like, what are the table's thoughts on, would another character see you as being knocked out or unconscious or like nearly dead or like very well could be dead? I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I've always seen unconscious as
basically like incapacitated, where like someone could still be groaning and moaning and like making signs of life, not physically capable of acting.
Yeah, of anything
basically.
really.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can look at both Efimia and Grom and notice that their chests are both rising and falling. Like they are still breathing.
That's
but
true.
They
Breathing
are
is a good point.
basically bleeding out at this point.
Okay, because at this moment, I imagine Selene not actually feeling like all my friends are dead. And actually a little bit of hope because I'm super energized. I've got full health. And I know I'm familiar with shadows. I know that now we're dealing with necrotic energy here. So I feel a lot more confident in my ability to step in and do it, like get a job done. It is time to be the butcher.
It is time to be the butcher.
Nobody's even here for me to ask the question.
Can I kill him?
Can I kill him? So with that being said, I'm going to use steady aim to give myself advantage and say, all in favor of me killing Thorn? Look around. All right, it's decided then. And then I'm going to take out my all pike and pray to not Lathander that I roll well.
Come on, not Lathander, pull through.
17 to hit.
A 17 hits, go ahead and deal damage, and you also get sneak attack since you had that steady aim active.
I rolled a d8 and got a 1. So 1 plus 4 equals 5. And then let me do my sneak attack. All right, that was much better. Plus 9 equals 21.
As you deal this damage on a scale of 1 to 4, 1 being totally alive, 4 being the amount of hit points that he has left.
Oh, no.
He has 4 hit points left.
Wait, I want to use my offhanded attack.
Oh, okay, yeah. Do your offhanded attack.
I'm so glad I didn't use that d4. Nat 20.
Nat 20! Oh, you get a double a d4 now. You have a 50-50 shot of this killing Thorn. If you don't kill Thorn, he will be going after Efimia.
Okay. Shout out to Alec, who isn't here, for me rolling this d4 right now. 2, 3.
Yeah. Okay. And with that, you drive the back end of your all-pike into this shadow of Thorn, and he dissipates.
And I immediately want to try to capture his essence.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check. Don't roll a natural 1.
Oh, heck yeah. Ooh. Well, I got a 3 plus 3, which is 6, but it wasn't a natural 1.
All right, yeah. So it's shaky, but you capture the essence of Thorn's shadow, which you know from Zag leaving. Thorn's shadow's essence is what is going to bring him back from wherever he is right now. With that, is that the end of your turn?
That's all I can do, I believe so. Yes, it is.
Efimia, go ahead and roll me a death saving throw.
Yeah, all right.
Hang in there. I'm coming to get you.
8.
An 8, unfortunately, is a failure.
Why is this happening to me?
You have 1 success and 1 failure, but with that, Grom, go ahead and roll me a death save.
It's natural 20.
Natural 20!
That's right. Not that really
Welcome
matters
back
because
to the land of the living, Grom.
Zag!
Grom, you're okay.
Butcher, what's going on?
Thorn's gone. He's taken care of. And I'm going to show him the vial that I captured Thorn's essence in.
Wonderful job.
Thank you.
do I still get to take my turn?
Yes, you do.
Just see Efimia on the ground, and I'll just run over and doing the same thing I did on. This is just going to be how I cast Cure Wounds each time. I'm just going to grab her shoulders and shake and just be like, "Wake up!" And
Wonderful
She's just
Cure
limp.
Wounds flavor.
Flailing.
yeah, 1 point of healing, 2 points of healing that you get.
Welcome back to the land of the living.
I'm alive.
You are alive. So everyone, you wake up and you are currently in this deserted graveyard. What are you doing?
I'm gonna use a second wind to just recover some HP, and just in case.
Yeah, you guys are currently out of combat, so you can take whatever actions you'd like.
Efimia just wakes up to Grom violently shaking her. Grom, stop!
Oh, I'm sorry. I just needed you to be awake.
I'm awake now.
Are you okay? Are you okay? You seem untouched.
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. You
Isn't that
guys
nice?
look terrible.
Thank you. That's exactly what I want to hear when I just almost died.
I feel pretty terrible, if I'm being honest.
I'm gonna place both one hand each on Efimia and Grom and cast Healing Hands and heal them both for 4 points of damage.
Here you go.
That's all I can offer you.
I am
Hey,
completely
you know
out of
what?
spells and healing for the day. so-
I also am. So I'm at 6 points now.
Woo!
I am looking worse for wear.
Where's Zag?
Yeah, what do you last remember before it was lights out for a bit?
There was a bright beam of light, and I remember thinking, oh crap, and then I was here.
I'm pretty sure Thorn has some sort of personal vendetta against me because it seems that he just kept aiming directly for me repeatedly.
He was going
doubly.
right for you, and I'll tell you, even as you were lying on the ground ready to die, I assume he was still aiming right for you. I'm gonna be honest, I don't fully understand why, but he didn't even seem to be interested in me.
Yeah, I noticed.
He had told me that his next aim was Moradin, so we saved the gods.
Yeah, actually, I think we have a lot to celebrate in that way. However, Zag's not here.
You know where he went?
Well,
He left you?
all I know is that he said to trust him, and he cast banishment on himself, and he's in another dimension.
So you're telling me you were left alone with Thorn and Zag had a chance to help and he left?
I'm sure he had a good reason.
Well,
What good reason without telling us?
I don't understand at all, but he did say that it would help, and it was the only way we were going to defeat him. And as much as I almost don't want to believe that and question Zag's judgment, I will say the one thing that made sense is that as soon as he disappeared, Thorn turned into a shadow, just hardly a person. It was an essence. And I think that had a big part in me being able to defeat him.
Question. How are you sure it was Zag that left and not Thorn?
To be honest, a lot of the talk lately about two sides of the same coin and
Identical twins.
Identical has been pretty concerning to me. We already know that Thorn's okay with, tricking people, and they've already done a swap once, and that's how, we killed.
But Zag told you to trust him, right? And has he ever harmed us?
I'm not saying it could have been Zag. I'm saying it could have been Thorn.
That's true. I do trust Zag. I would trust Zag with my life.
As you guys are kind of having this conversation, Grom, go ahead and roll me an investigation check with advantage.
Okay, that's a 17 on the first roll and a natural 1 on the second. So a grand total of 15.
Oh, a 15? Okay. So with a 15, you see where Zag once was standing, where you recall Zag was standing before you were knocked unconscious. There is one of Zag's soul stones laying on the ground.
Can I go retrieve it?
You sure can.
Look at this.
And I'll pick it up.
Zag wouldn't have left his Uncle Kalen's soul stone on the ground, would he?
No. These were very important to him.
Are you sure that he didn't turn Zag into some little spirit thing and Thorn didn't just get out of here without a scrape?
But it wasn't without a scrape. We beat him up pretty hard.
As you look at this soul stone, as you look a little closer, you used to be able to see like a mini version of Kalen screaming. You also see Zag is accompanied with Kalen in this soul stone.
Do we know it's Zag?
He is wearing Zag's clothes. That's
Thorn
as much
dressed
as,
like Zag.
That is true. Roll me an insight check, Efimia.
I don't trust anything, okay?
Yeah.
Problem is
play
that
it safe.
Grom's first instinct is to smash it to see if it'll get out. But I realize that that's just like a great way to kill Zag and just like...
No, you can almost do it. I'm sleek, I'm fast, I'll like, as you're like doing like a
Jumping.
big dramatic, like ready to throw it on the ground, I'll like throw myself under it, like, slow motion. No.
7.
With a 7, this looks exactly like Zag. Whether or not you can trust whether it's Thorn or not is up to kind of your own interpretation. However, considering the torment that is happening in this soul stone, you can fairly assume, even with the roll of a 7, that Thorn would not have done this to himself.
So, How do we get him out?
Well, that's the thing. I'm trying to remember. I mean, where did we find out that Kalen was?
Wait, isn't Kalen split up among multiple stones? Why is Zach just in one?
Isn't he dead? Isn't that what happened? His uncle died and made these stones?
Everyone roll me a history check.
I got a 7 again.
A 7. Nice.
18.
6.
A 6, a 7, and an 18. With an 18, Selene, you can recall that Zag's uncle, Kalen, was in Shadowfell.
Actually, Grom, that's it. I don't know if Kalen died, but whether or not he died, it would make sense that he's in Shadowfell.
How do we get there?
Now that's a good question.
How do we get out of here?
Well, Zach's the one who brought us here in the first place. I don't know how. I don't have any knowledge on traveling interdimensionally.
Okay, I'm at least settled on the fact that it's probably Zag in there. I still don't know entirely. But he brought us here and left us.
If the last few days have taught me anything, it's that having faith can sometimes be better than knowing what's going to happen.
I'll take the stone, and I'm just going to send out a prayer to both Moradin and to Zag, and just in general. And I'm just going to...
If you can hear me, buddy, we need to get to you. Do you know how we can do that?
And I'm just going to hold the stone up to my ear.
Roll me a religion check. I love that.
5.
A 5. Okay. You hold the stone up to your ear and it's really cold. And for a second, you almost hear a whisper. But it's just your own breathing.
He's saying something, but I can't make it out. Well, what if... I don't know. I've never really been to a different plane before. How do we get out?
I've been here before, but...
How did you get out before?
It was Thorn, wasn't it?
Efimia, go ahead and roll me a religion check.
She's the least religious person at the table.
I don't know. I have a -2 in religion, so...
Oh, she has a +1, but let's be honest. It's just for
roleplay wise versus stat wise.
That's fair.
It's a stat roleplay. She knows nothing. 5. I'm rolling A+ today, guys. I don't know if you know this.
The 5 religious rollers.
With a 5, you can't recall much, but something that is kind of eating at the back of all of your minds, even without a roll. With Thorn gone, who's going to be assigned the next god? And who gets to assign the next god?
Wait.
Thorn is dead. Lolth is dead. Lathander is dead.
Thanks for
We're down to
reminding us
7.
of all that.
Yeah, Efimia, what's your point?
I was getting there. All I'm saying is I know there used to be a lot more, but...
Maybe if we dig deep enough, we'll fall into the other plane.
I don't think that's how interdimensional travel works.
Have you ever done it before?
No. But if you want to, you can find a shovel.
Are there any shovels nearby?
Roll me an investigation.
I mean,
actually, you're in a graveyard.
Yeah.
Of course there's shovels around. You find a pristine shovel. It has hand grooves etched into the sides that allow you to dig even faster.
Okay.
It's a +1 shovel.
Oh, wonderful. I will start digging as they discuss stuff.
We are down to 8 gods of the 10, not including Thorn.
Who replaced Lathander?
Nobody replaced Lathander because Thorn was trying to take all of them down. But didn't there used to be way more than 10 gods? That's what Cassidy told me.
Well, there's always been more than 10 gods, but those are the main 10.
No, I mean, there used to be more mains. Like, there are lesser gods, like Vecna was, and Amulek, and Tauren, but there doesn't need to be 10, plus or minus, exactly. I think it's just been our tradition for so long.
You know, you actually might have a good point, and I don't have a way to verify this, but I did kill Thorn. So if it's left in my hands, but I just choose to not choose a god.
I prefer that over what happened last time we tried to choose a god.
I agree. I think
How do we get out?
Oh.
That's valid. I used to even, just until, what was it, yesterday, I was still attached to Tamora. I mean, granted, that was Thorn's choice, but I'm not anymore, I suppose.
Efimia.
What?
That brings up a great point. Grom.
What?
You have a god? A god who clearly is willing to do things for you.
I already tried. I couldn't hear what he was saying.
Efimia's gonna reach into her pocket and pull out her soul stone from what is left of Orcus and just be like, does this do anything?
Well, I don't know how, I don't know the preferences that your god has.
He did tell me to protect you guys. Maybe he knew that you'd be needed? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he must value us somehow. So I'm gonna reach out my hands in an attempt to hold them. We're gonna make a little prayer circle.
Grom's hands filthy from the dirt that he's been shoveling up. He'll grab onto it without hesitation.
Efimia's hands are covered in her own dried blood. So, because she got hit in the head with the spiky thing a few too many times.
Hit by a sunbeam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's gonna just reach out and kind of realize she's got crusty blood on there, kind of swipe her hands together and then hold them out to you and go, well, I suppose we don't really have a lot of options.
Selene, roll me a luck check with disadvantage.
Okay. 18.
Ooh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
12.
Okay.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Better than my 5-7.
For disadvantage with your rolls, that's actually really good.
Yeah.
So, you feel the dirt underneath your feet as you guys join in this circle. You feel the dirt start to get vacuumed away. And as you're feeling this dirt get vacuumed away, it starts to accelerate more and more. These graves start to just get vacuumed into what you can now look over to your right and see is a massive black hole that has formed.
Whoa.
I'm not really one to trust random transfer holy thingies appearing out of nowhere, but it looks like we might have a way out.
You think we should go inside the hole? What if this is because I haven't assigned a god? What if the world's collapsing in on itself? Or this place doesn't exist anymore?
You have a god, Selene. I know. You're about to have a panic attack. It's okay. And she actually puts her crusty, bloody hand on your shoulder. Sorry for putting it on the pink dress.
I clasp it with both hands.
I don't think we have much of a choice. I think we're going to be forced out sooner or later. Do we want to face it together?
I'm in.
On one condition, and I'm going to hold both of your hands.
All right.
I'm going to take out my hammer and just...
Odin, protect us.
I'll just start moving towards whatever the hole is.
As you guys are running, this vacuum of a black hole is starting to suck more and more of these graves and decay out from the realm that you're currently in. And as you are each running towards this black hole, hand in hand, you notice that the graves start to fade away as you are starting to get sucked towards this black hole. As you are fully taken in by the gravity of this black hole, in the space of the graves begin to populate office spaces. And at the center of where you all once were holding hands, praying to Moradin, emerges a gigantic corporate office. The same office you once knew as Avani Mech's office. And as you are being sucked into this black hole out of Thord's old realm, you see a woman who opens a door to this office, breathes in the air, and gives you a look, Selene, thanking you for helping her back into her throne. And that's where we're going to end our session for the night. My name is Cade, the host and dungeon master of this Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure, and I'm joined here by the players to my left.
Mason playing Grom.
I don't know why I did that. Mason playing Grom.
Marissa playing Efimia.
And Brooklyn with a question.
Okay.
What?
Just have one question.
And Cade with an answer.
Is that Vecna?
That is Vecna.
Okay, I just want to know if we just obviously know that.
You
Because-
100% from the research that you guys did in the library in the Underdark or in Brigaroon, you would know that that is Vecna.
Anybody who was questioning got a treat if they actually listen all the way through the end credits. So, Brooklyn playing Selene.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you love this podcast, go over to patreon.com/Noct and you can check out our after show, Talked Prone, where we're going to talk about this episode and the next episode. So make sure to stick around for the next episode. Check out Himbo's Guide in the meantime. That is a show that Alec puts on about how to be a better spellcaster so you don't have to feel like a noob at your next D&D game. We have the Archivist's Tower coming soon and Dear Dungeon Daddy that we're working on, as well as some other projects that we're also working on. But before we sign off, is there anything anyone would like to shout out?
I want to make an effort to make a whole list of everything that we offer on Patreon. I mean, I know you kind of said it, but I just feel like it's a lot of stuff. We have so many perks.
It really is.
And so many different tiers too, from like tons of different budget standpoints. So if you at least haven't just gone to look at it, you should just go check it out.
Yeah.
And sometime soon we'll like list everything that we have available as benefits on our Patreon.
It's so awesome to see like all the mini shows. Like I've been members of Patreons before and just seeing what is offered. Because let's be honest, I pay for Patreon for the show that I'm on because it's awesome.
Appreciate it.
I too am a Patreon member. But it really is awesome just to see all the content that keeps getting thrown out to help people really understand the show deeper.
Well, the thing I'm going to shout out this week, I've been reading a new book. It's called In the Shadow of the Gods, and it's really good. If you like Skyrim, it's set in like Norse mythology, so it talks a lot about lots of direct correlation from Skyrim kind of lore. The only word that's basically missing is Draugr, and then you would be completely immersed in this great descriptive book by John Gwynn, I believe. So check that out if you haven't. And again, thank you for listening to Knocked Prone. We hope you remember when life knocks you flat on your back, all you gotta do is keep rolling. And we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
How does everyone feel about me killing Grom? No objections?
Take 2 death saves.
I used my turn to kill Grom.
I'm the champion of Greyhaven.